but I thought this was clickbait. How's it going, everyone? Bass here. So it happened. The Packers have traded Davante Adams. The Las Vegas Raiders have traded for Davante Adams and officially have the best wide receiver in the league. So today, I'm going to give my reaction on that and tell you guys what comes next. So firstly, as for compensation, if you don't know already, Green Bay is receiving a first-round and second-round draft choice in the 2022 draft for Davante Adams. That's pick 22 and pick 53. And then Adams signed a 5-year deal with the Raiders for $142.5 million total, or $28.5 million average, making him the highest paid wide receiver and highest paid non-quarterback player in the entire NFL. So firstly, I want to say I'm actually happy with that compensation. I know a lot of people are mixed on this. Some people think, the Packers got fleeced. Some people think the Raiders got fleeced. I am very happy with this compensation. I mean, let's face it, Davante Adams is the best receiver in the NFL, but he's also turning 30 years old this year. That's kind of was one of my gripes with paying him around $30 million per year. The dude is turning 30. He's still in his prime, but that's going to end, in the near future. And this gives Green Bay a total of 4 picks in the top 60, which is just a lot of value and where they could snag potentially 2 wide receivers. This also frees up $20 million off the salary cap for the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Davante Adams was on that franchise tag, which is a direct hit of just over $20 million on the salary cap. They had to get under with that number on the books. Now that's completely off the books since he was traded. And I'm not going to lie here. I'm 100% going to miss Davante Adams. He was so good. Him and Aaron Rodgers had that bond, that connection that just no one is going to replicate for years to come. So I'm 100% going to miss Davante Adams. I mean, he is definitely the best wide receiver in the NFL, but the Packers can live without him, and that's what I'm here to talk about. It was also recently stated by Ian Rappaport, and he put this out saying new Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams turned down more money from the Packers, and timing was an issue. And he basically stated that the relationship was frayed, fractured, and not in a good place, and that had Green Bay offered that same offer they offered to Davante a year ago, he'd probably still be here. So Davante chose this. He wanted to go to Las Vegas. He wanted to go back with his old college teammate and Derek Carr. Obviously, he was not happy with Green Bay anymore. He didn't want to be in Green Bay anymore. So the Packers and us fans, we have to move on. And what is moving on? Well, firstly, the Packers now have a very significant need at wide receiver. Now, with this money freed up, they have a lot of options. Technically, they could bring back MVS. He isn't signed by anyone yet. I thought he was as good as gone, but now that Davante's gone and the Packers have an extra $20 million, bringing back MVS is definitely on the table. There's also some wide receivers they could target in the draft: Chris Olave, Treylon Burks, Drake London, Christian Watson, George Pickens, David Bell, to name a few. And I would assume Green Bay drafts at least 2 receivers in this draft. Adam Schefter also put out a tweet, and it states Packers have been in the market this week to add another veteran wide receiver per league sources. This doesn't figure to change. So it's very clear the Packers are definitely trying to add a veteran wide receiver into this wide receiver room. The wide receiver room that consists of Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard, Amari Rodgers, and Malik Taylor. So who could they be targeting in free agency? There's a few guys that definitely I'm going to put on this list that I feel like the Packers will sign one of these guys, and that's one of which of Jarvis Landry, Juju Smith-Schuster, Will Fuller, Ty Hilton, Odell Beckham, whenever he would be ready, I guess, Julio Jones, and Emmanuel Sanders. And like I said, I fully expect the Packers to probably bring on one of those guys to this team. And then there's also the avenue of trading for a wide receiver. There's not many guys out there that I think are real trade candidates right now at wide receiver. There are a few. I do have a few to go over real quick just as a possibility. First of which being Brandon Cooks. He's on the last year of his deal. Definitely is tradable. The Texans pretty much will trade anyone at this point, so he can definitely be moved. Another one being Robert Woods, which is a similar situation as Odell, just tore his ACL farther back than Odell in practice in week 10, but they just signed Allen Robinson, and I think Robert Woods could be moved as well. And then lastly, just a shot in the dark, someone that probably most likely isn't going to get traded, but Seattle just traded Russell Wilson, so we have DK Metcalf on this list, although very unlikely, he could be targeted. Overall, Green Bay just really needs to now address that wide receiver room. And as I said, it only consists of right now Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Amari Rodgers, and Malik Taylor. So that's going to have to change, and that will change in the next coming weeks. And of course, anything that happens when it comes to Packers news, analysis, updates, and the draft, free agency, and salary cap, make sure to go down and click that subscribe button. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Do you believe this is good value for Davante Adams? Are you happy with the trade, or are you upset with the trade? Just leave that down in the comments below. But that about does it for this video. Catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.